what happened at the testimony in Congress yesterday? 3 presidents of 3 very famous universities, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, University of Penn, as well as Harvard, they all testified. And the way they testified, the language they used, the similarity in their response, either they have been coached by their lawyers to say a certain set of words so that they cannot be legally pursued for what they did or did not do, or they themselves are so woke that they believe in what they are saying. Either ways, this is a very dark day for these 3 universities. These are probably the most premier institutions for the excellence in their fields. UPenn is, of course, Wharton, Harvard, as well as MIT. So why did these 3 university presidents say what they did? I'm first going to walk you through a slide deck, and then afterwards we will have a few video clips that will tell you what is going on. Here we go. So these 3, Gay and McGill, and I'm not remembering the MIT president's name, but it will come to me. You can look at the references that I've provided to get more details on this. So what it is really coming down to is, what did they want to admit? They wanted to admit nothing. They don't want to say that they were wrong, that the students who were asking for the genocide of Jews were wrong. In fact, there is another video that I'm going to put which tells you the horrors suffered by a student at UPenn. He's a Jew. His name is Eyal Yakoby, and he talks about what happened. He's saying that not just the students of UPenn, but even some of the professors wanted these Jewish kids dead. Horrible, horrible things going on, guys. I mean, I can only tell you that whatever is happening in the universities and across the United States, something is drastically wrong. In fact, even as we speak all these things, there is a legislation that is being moved by Republican congressmen that would essentially debar and send those students who are taking part in all these riots back to their home country. This is coming. It's coming very fast. It's not. And in US the action is almost immediate. So it doesn't have to wait for a Republican president to come in place before these things are going to happen. They may happen as early as, I don't know, next term maybe. So please don't just participate in these things thinking that nothing is going to happen to you. Something could happen to you that you would regret for the rest of your life. That's all I can tell for the students. So what happened here? Bill Ackman, the man who has been at the forefront of trying to make sure that these such things don't happen again, he says that all 3 presidents must resign. And here is why he says. Here's a question that Elise Stefanik, a congresswoman, asked. She's a Republican. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard, MIT, UPenn code of conduct or rules regarding bullying or harassment? The answers they gave reflect the profound moral bankruptcy of Presidents Gay, McGill, and Kornbluth. That was MIT's president. So you saw the pictures, right? These are from left to right. Gay, McGill, and the right person is Kornbluth. Okay, so I'm going to give you the videos of what they actually said. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik was so shocked with the answers that she asked each of them the same question over and over again, and they gave the same answer over and over again. This is clearly lawyers coaching them. Do not, digress from the script. No matter how many times you get asked the same question, keep saying the same words. In short, what did they say? They said it depends on the context and whether the speech turns into conduct. Wait a minute. So you want the Jews to be killed before you will act against those protesters? What kind of a nonsense is this? This is exactly what they were saying. You watch the videos and I'm telling you, you will be horrified about what these people are actually saying. So here we go.
Dr. Kornbluth,
Yes.
At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide for Jews on our campus.
But you've heard chants for intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context, when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
So those would not be according to the MIT's code of conduct or rules?
That would be investigated as harassment if pervasive and severe.
Ms. McGill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
I am asking specifically calling for the genocide of Jews. Does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. McGill. So is your testimony that you will not answer yes?
If it if the
yes
speech
or
becomes
no?
if the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment. Yes.
Conduct meaning committing the act of genocide? The speech is not harassment? This is unacceptable, Ms. McGill. I'm going to give you one more opportunity for the world to see your answer. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's code of conduct when it comes to bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be harassment.
The answer is yes. And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual, at an individual.
It's targeted at Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric. When
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric, when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
This is the student I was talking to you about. His name is Eyal Yakoby, and he is talking about his experiences in the UPenn campus. Here we go.
Well, I am both honored and thankful to be here. I should not be here today. I should be studying for my upcoming finals. I should be taking in every moment, every experience as an undergraduate student in my senior year of college. So while I should not be here today, I am. Because 36 hours ago, I, along with most of campus, sought refuge in our rooms, as classmates and professors chanted proudly for the genocide of Jews while igniting smoke bombs and defacing school property. The neighboring university's president immediately released a statement, describing this as a brazen display of anti-Semitism. He went on saying, "Silence in the face of last night's demonstration of anti-Semitism and hate near our doorstep is not an option for me." Well, the doorstep of the neighboring university is in fact Penn. And in fact, Penn's president did choose silence. The neighboring university's president swiftly denounced the incident, and yet our president cannot. Because the glorious October 7th, and you're a dirty little Jew, you deserve to die, are words said not by Hamas, but by my classmates and professors. And because despite all of this, I am adamant and hopeful that we will not accept, least of all embrace, this horrific new normal on college campuses today. On October 7th, Israel was attacked. Since October 7th, American Jews have been under attack. My name is Eyal Yakoby, and I am a proud American studying at the University of Pennsylvania. I love Penn. I've wanted to attend this university since before I can remember. I'm here because the Penn I attend today is unrecognizable from the Penn I once used to know. Penn, once renowned for groundbreaking discoveries like the mRNA vaccine, is now a chilling landscape of hatred and hostility. Our university, revered for its pursuit of knowledge, has devolved into an arena where Jewish students tiptoe through their days, uncertain and unsafe. The situation at Penn has escalated into a full-blown crisis, with students openly asserting their intentions to proceed with plans with or without university permission. During COVID, strict guidelines governed everything from class attendance and graduation walks. Yet now, when students and faculty defy policies to intimidate Jewish students, where is the same resolute enforcement? For the past 3 weeks inside Houston Hall, our student center, an anti-Semitic headquarters has been erected with signs spreading Hamas propaganda. The organizers, both Penn affiliated and not, were initially asked to leave as they are trespassing on campus property. Well, 3 weeks later, they are still sleeping there, and countless Jewish students have been harassed, yet the anti-Semitic dormitory remains. Clearly, both a disregard for school policies and permission to disregard them by a university unwilling to do anything. Not only are tensions palpable, but there have also been materialized actions taken to intimidate and harm students. A bomb threat against Hillel, a swastika spray painted, the Hillel and Chabad houses vandalized, a professor posting the armed wing of Hamas's logo on Facebook, a Jewish student accosted, "Jews are Nazis," etched adjacent to Penn's Jewish fraternity house. Why doesn't the university hold the perpetrators of such acts accountable? Is the university fearful that they may offend those who wish to intimidate and harass their fellow students? Penn's ambivalence fuels a crisis that has shattered my academic sanctuary. Policies meant to safeguard us have become hollow promises. And let us be clear, if they fail Jewish students today, tomorrow they will fail the rest of us. Nonetheless, I refuse to go back to 1939, when Jews had to hide their religious symbols and hide who they are due to the intimidation and harassment of us. I used to think this was nonsense, fear-mongering, until I was made aware that Penn recommended to students, quote, not wear clothing/accessories related to Judaism. Hundreds of posters mocking the hostages featuring cows instead of humans adorned Penn's campus 2 weeks ago. While on my way to class, I was greeted with chalk reading 90% of pigs are gas chambered. As a student, despite what my university says, I do not feel safe. Let me be clear, I do not feel safe. Luckily, there are policies in place to protect students from the heinous acts I described. Unluckily, the university seems to have no interest in upholding those very policies. It's time for the soul of our university to reclaim its integrity. And it's time for me and my fellow classmates to stop worrying for our lives. Thank you.
So you can see that the universities in the United States have been completely wokeified, and they are plumbing new depths with each passing day. By the way, this is not just isolated to these three. Many Ivy Leagues, in fact, many UCs also are showing similar behavior, and this has to stop. This has to stop completely. Action has to be taken. Now, we are at the cusp of determining what constitutes freedom of speech. Should anything be allowed to be said? Because this is not only the students here, the Palestine issue, this is not the only Hamas issue, but you also know that the Khalistanis also are using very intemperate language, wishing for the death of people flying in Air India, or asking everybody to leave the country. Who the heck are you? Who the F are you? Who are you? You belong in a jail. If not in United States or in Canada, you belong in a jail in India. You guys, many of you have red corner notices against you. Anyway, so this is the status of the situation today. In fact, I'm also hearing, I don't know how true this is, that Hamas is refusing to release many women because they're afraid that these women who have been used as sex slaves after they've been kidnapped will be telling their stories to Israel, and that thus causing Israel even more anger. Really? So what is the idea here? Hamas doesn't want to give them? They want to continue using them. I mean, this is just mind-blowing. What the amount of cruelty being taught in their brains. This is what happens when you get brainwashed. By the way, India will be facing something similar from all the brainwashed people going around in Pakistan, in Bangladesh. Who knows? Maybe other countries also. Dr. Zakir Naik is still a fugitive. He should be brought back to India and, tried for treason. And he's sitting and stirring people in Malaysia and Saudi Arabia and Qatar and where else? I don't know. 57 countries are there. They only will allow him to come and talk, but they won't even give him asylum. Anyway, this guy is a crook, that's all I can tell you, and they have to be punished by the fullest extent of law. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.